we're here in London with Johnny, Eliza and Simon from the Imagine Village. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi. So you've just recorded and released your new album Empire and Love. Could you tell us a bit about the recording of the new album?
Want me to do it?
Yeah, you start.
Well, it was done very quickly compared to the last album, which was spread out over 40 years.
At least that.
Something like
We
that.
all look very good for our age.
No, spread out over 6 years. It was done mainly in my garage, which
Was cold and uninviting.
no, it wasn't.
No, it was lovely. It was all plush
Just my
inside.
garage.
No, it was nice.
Redone. It was
Yeah,
lovely.
thank you. And the drummer had the idea that we could convert it to a studio in April, and then we just kind of hammered it for about 5 weeks. Got the thing done. Got the set together first, which was quite interesting. We wrote the songs and played them out as a band first, unlike the last album, when we only really met on stage at WOMAD, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, hello. Who are you? I'm indispensable.
So yeah, it was quite different. Yeah, different process.
And there's been some talk that you sort of regarded yourself as a parish council during the recording.
Totally, yeah. It was
Yeah, they took over the pub for a while.
Yeah, although it's not very funny anymore because I'm apparently Linda Snell. And Chris wrote this article in The Guardian about the Imagine Village, and he said I'm the Linda Snell of the band.
Can I be the glamorous one? Is there a glamorous one?
There's Hayley. Hayley.
Who's the Geordie one? I want to be her.
No, she's Hayley.
Is that Hayley?
Hayley.
Okay.
So yes, we are a parish council. We all, we had a day off on the tour, and rather than all going home, everyone came back to my place
And a curry.
in Dorset.
Had
Apart from you.
several curries.
Oh, was
actually.
it?
You were there, of course you were.
Of course I was.
Misbehaving.
No. Oh no. I've got to talk to you about that as well.
On camera.
Yeah, I have to talk to you about
On camera, live on the internet.
La, 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 la. Yeah, so it was great.
Lovely.
And you had curry wars with Andy.
Yeah, Andy Gangley made the most brilliant fish curry. It was
Although
great.
you know that I think your green curry was very, very close.
Really?
It was, yeah.
Ah.
I always enjoyed your curry.
No, I really like it. I quite enjoy your curry too.
I've never made your curry.
I've never had their curry.
So,
Like Mary had a little lamb. I've never seen her bear.
Mary had a little lamb. The midwife fainted.
Mary had a little lamb's ox was surprised, but when old MacDonald had a farm, he couldn't believe his eyes.
so how does an Imagine Village track come together? Does it always begin with a traditional song?
Yeah, I mean that is
Generally, yeah.
That's the brief up until now. Eliza, well, you wrote a completely original song for the first album, Acres of Ground.
Yeah.
But that was based on the counting song, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and the ideas. The ideas can come from all over the place. I mean, Dad took a traditional song in My Son John and completely rewrote it, but stuck to the original form and that kind of thing. When I wrote Acres of Ground, I just took a traditional idea and a bit of the tune and wrote a love song around it. And then there's what we did with All Things Are Quite Silent, which didn't end up on the second album, but might end up on the next one. Which is we took an English traditional song and then played it to a completely different rhythm, set it to something, just like turned it on its head, set it to somebody else's tradition. We did that with Ben Mendelsohn, didn't we?
Yeah, we did that with Carthy. But the brief for the Imagine Village is to open up the English songbook, traditional songbook, take the songs and see what happens when you give them to English musicians who aren't from the trad background. So it's a collaboration between Eliza and Martin.
I couldn't believe what happened to My Son John, actually. That big section in the middle. It was like, when we were doing it, there's this big section in the middle. It's like, oh, what's that going to be like? Oh, don't you worry about that. It's going to be fine.
Good bit.
And then the monster comes out.
And then the monster comes out.
Yeah.
And there he is.
I whipped the monster out, which is great. It's a good influence, I think. A good twist.
Yeah.
So, what are the personal highlights of the new album for each of you?
Ooh, blimey.
Well, for me personally, from the new album, I think it is taken a little bit of a turn from the first album, in the sense of the direction of recording and the way it was actually put together was very completely different from the first album. But lucky for us, even while we were doing the first tour, towards the back end of it, we started doing some of the tunes that we're doing now. So a lot of the creation was kind of like, you know, spin-offs and of stuff that we were trying during sound checks and stuff like that, that actually came off, you know, and ideas and thoughts that were developed as a collective, as a band.
What was your highlight?
The highlight, I think, probably, I would have to say, would be Space Girl, My Son John, for me, personally.
I had lots and lots of fun arranging all the backing vocals and the fiddles and stuff on Biker Hill. I had lots of fun doing that.
I definitely went, the first time we recorded, in fact I think it's the very first take of Come On Feel the Noise.
Yeah.
And we just worked out the chords.
It was nice.
And I got them off a mate of mine. I'd learnt it on a forest school camp. I don't know if you're familiar with forest school camps, but it's scouting for nutters, basically. And we were all sitting around doing the forest school camp songbook, and then someone started playing it, and
Was
someone
this
else.
the wet one you just went on?
Yeah, no, it was another one. It was a May Day camp.
Right.
And just recording Martin doing it, and just realising how unbelievably brilliant it was, and
everyone was so excited in the studio, and
well, we had no
everyone was
idea.
crying.
I mean,
it made grown men cry.
It
didn't
really did make grown. We were just stunned. And the great thing about Martin is he's completely unaware, isn't he?
Yeah.
You're all crying. No, was it that good?
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, it was a great moment.
And you've moved away in your live performances from pre-programmed beats and things, and you've now got Simon Richmond in the band.
Much to your disgust.
No, not at all. No, I enjoy it. I miss the backing tracks sometimes, because I liked having the ghostly coppers in the background and that kind of thing. I enjoyed that. But the nice thing about having Simon with us is that actually what he does is live music, and that's you know, it's treating electronica as an instrument, which I think is really important, because that's what it is, rather than just treating it as a, you know, like a film over the front of what you're doing. It's actually part of what you're doing. It's part of the painting. You know.
It means it really opens up the arrangements. If someone, I mean, Chris is really into sort of, he doesn't like doing the same thing twice. Basically,
stretches things out.
Leaves gaps. You know, forgets things or whatever. And, but it means it opens. It makes it a lot more relaxed and a lot more interactive. On the previous tour was a multimedia tour. You know, we were synced up to screens and backing tracks. I mean, it was hugely complicated. I don't think people actually appreciated the work that went into something like Tam Lim. You know, actually having Benjamin's F&R up on the screen, synced up to us. I mean, we went through a massive amount of kind of headaches to get it to work, and to make
ups with festival organisers.
Or, you know, but I mean, that was then, and I just think we all felt for this tour we wanted it to sound more like a band, and what's been great is all the songs have kind of developed, haven't they?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you still have the consistency that you would have with a live band. I think it's not as mechanical as it was when we had the machines doing it, you know, because when the machines are doing it, they're just robots, right? And it's consistent, but you still have the consistency, even though Simon's firing off the same sort of samples. But now what's happening is
we're really good as well.
We're a bit more engaged. Yeah, we're having to play now for real. And
there wasn't that much on the backing tracks, to be honest.
Yeah, no robots.
No, look at the robot. Don't look at me. Look at the robot.